I want you to picture a machine, a very simple machine. You put money in one end, a lot more money comes out the other end, and the money that comes out goes straight to a bank. That machine exists. It is sitting in your wallet right now. It's your credit card. And before you close the video thinking this doesn't apply to you, consider this. Americans currently owe $1.277 trillion on their credit cards. That is a 1 followed by 12 zeros. That is more money than the entire economy of most countries on Earth. And that number just hit its highest point in recorded history. But here is the thing that should actually keep you up at night. It's not the size of the number. It's what people are buying with it. Because more than half of the people carrying a credit card balance right now are not paying for vacations. They're not buying luxury items. They are using their credit cards to buy groceries, to pay their electric bill, to cover a doctor's appointment. Over 100 to 11 million Americans are currently trapped in what experts call a persistent debt cycle. And for millions of them, the math to escape it is nearly impossible. Today we are going to talk about why. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how credit cards work, who they really work for, and why the product that nearly every American carries in their pocket might be the most expensive thing they own. Let's start from the very beginning because understanding credit cards is actually simple once you see the whole picture. A credit card is essentially a very short loan that a bank gives you every time you swipe. The bank pays the store on your behalf. At the end of the month, you pay the bank back. If you pay the entire balance every month, it costs you nothing extra. The bank makes its money from the merchant fees they charge stores. That's the deal. That's how it's supposed to work. And for people who pay in full every month, it actually works fine. Free points, no interest. Good deal. But here's where the machine turns on. If you don't pay the full balance, if you only pay part of it and carry the rest to next month, the bank starts charging you interest, and not a little interest. The average interest rate on a credit card in America right now is about 22% per year. To put that in plain numbers, if you owe $10,000 on a credit card and you only make minimum payments, you will pay roughly $2,200 every single year just in interest charges, before you pay down a single dollar of the original $10,000. You're basically renting the money, expensively. And the interest compounds, which means it charges interest on top of interest, which means the hole gets bigger the longer you're in it. Now here's the question. If credit cards are this expensive, why do 175 million Americans have one? And the answer is a masterclass in how to sell something by making it feel like a reward. Think about every credit card commercial you have ever seen. Nobody is stressed. Nobody is in debt. There's a smiling couple booking a dream vacation with their points. There's a cashback offer that feels like free money. There's a 0% introductory rate that expires in 12 months, right around the time you've completely forgotten you had a promotional rate at all. Credit cards are marketed as a tool that gives you things: rewards, convenience, security. And for a portion of users, the ones with high incomes who pay in full every month, that's actually true. But for the majority of cardholders, the rewards don't come close to covering the interest. In 2024 alone, Americans paid $160 billion in credit card interest. That number has gone up by more than $55 billion in just 2 years. The banks are not giving away free flights and cash back out of the goodness of their hearts. They are giving away cents and collecting dollars. And here's the part that makes this story different in 2026, because credit card debt has always existed. What's new is why people are carrying it. In previous generations, high credit card debt was mostly associated with overspending, people buying things they didn't need. But look at the data today and a very different picture emerges. More than half of the people carrying a balance are using credit cards to pay for what economists call essential expenses. That means food, rent, medicine, utilities. Things you cannot say no to. Incomes in America have grown about 22% since 2021. But credit card balances have grown 66% in that same period. People aren't spending more on luxuries. The cost of living is rising faster than paychecks, and credit cards are filling the gap. And when the gap is between you and food, you swipe the card. You don't compare shops for interest rates. And the result is that about 27 million Americans right now can only afford to pay the minimum payment on their credit card each month, which means they are not paying down their debt at all. They are just paying the interest and treading water. And every month they tread water, the bank collects another month of fees. Every single day, Americans collectively pay $368 million in credit card interest, not per year, per day. Here's how the minimum payment trap works, because this is the part the brochure leaves out. When you make a minimum payment, the bank typically requires you to pay about 1 to 2% of your total balance. On a $5,000 balance, that might be $100. Sounds manageable. Except that at 22% interest, the monthly interest charge on $5,000 is about $92, which means almost your entire $100 payment is going to interest. And only $8 is actually reducing what you owe. If you only ever pay the minimum on a $5,000 balance at 22% interest, it will take you approximately 28 years to pay it off. And you will pay nearly $9,000 in interest on top of the original $5,000. You will pay almost 3 times what you borrowed. That's not a financial product. That's a treadmill, and the bank designed every detail of that treadmill deliberately. The minimum payment amount, the interest rate, the late fee structure, all of it is calibrated by some of the most sophisticated mathematicians in the world specifically to maximize the amount of interest you pay before you pay off the balance. This is not a conspiracy theory, it is the business model, and it is wildly profitable. In 2024, credit card interest and fees made the big banks tens of billions of dollars in pure profit. And here's the uncomfortable truth that ties all of this together. The credit card is one of the few financial products that gets more dangerous the more financially stressed you are. If you're wealthy, you pay it off every month, you get the rewards. Great deal. If you're struggling, you carry a balance. You pay 22%. Every late payment triggers a fee. Your interest rate can actually go even higher after a late payment. You get trapped. The very people who can least afford expensive debt are the ones who end up paying the most for it. That's not an accident. It's a design. The result is that right now in America, 111 million people are caught in a cycle of persistent credit card debt. The 90-day delinquency rate, meaning people who are more than 3 months behind on their payments, is at its highest level since 2011. And unlike previous debt crises that showed up in mortgages or student loans, this one is invisible because it hides inside a plastic card that fits in your pocket. So here's the real question this video raises, and I genuinely want your answer in the comments. Do you think the credit card industry is providing a useful service with a risk that people should understand before they use it? Or do you think there is something fundamentally broken about a system where 111 million people are paying 22% interest just to afford their groceries? Because both arguments exist, and the answer matters, because this particular machine keeps running whether you're watching it or not.